Hey everyone, how you doing today? We are back for topic number 2 with the lumberjack landlord. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing awesome. Like super excited to talk about this one with you too.
Yeah, first and foremost, I failed to do it in episode 1. I just want to wish you another congratulations. You got a 7-day-year-old at home. How's the wife doing?
She's doing great. Yeah, she's doing great. And the other kids love the baby. And I've got a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. And so it
Oh
is
my God. There's a
yeah.
lot of diapers in your household, man.
Yeah. Oh, dear God. And I'm a diaper changing daddy. So
Woohoo!
it's like, yeah, like these hands have touched many a diaper and tushes.
Yeah, good
So
for you.
yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of diapers. You're right. You're dead on. Yeah. Thank God
Yeah.
my son graduated out of those quickly. But yeah,
Yeah.
we still got two. So yeah,
Still
but
got two.
thanks for asking. It's going great.
Awesome, man. Very cool.
Thanks.
Well, hey, one of the things I've been thinking about as you and I continue this journey to helping folks is, I think we have to talk about money more. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that is also I think we need to break down money because again, money's not taught in school.
Mhm.
Incomes, expenses, discretionary income's not taught in school. And when we look about the pundits out on social media or other helping them, I believe there's focus on the wrong variable. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to break down the 3 numbers, get your thoughts, and then talk about what's really going on and finally close with what I think is most important. You cool with that?
Absolutely. Let's roll.
So the 3 numbers that I think are most important to understand, appreciate, and talk about inside a family unit are really quite simple, right? There's a top line, which you could
Yep.
think of as your annualized income.
Yep.
Then there's expenses all the way from taxes through 401k to insurance to house to cars to entertainment to food to whatever. And then there's what's left over, right? I call those freedom dollars. You can call them discretionary income. You can call them whatever you fund dollars, whatever you want. But I think those are the 3 most important numbers to really understand and appreciate, track
Mhm.
inside a family unit. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I believe so much in it, Mike, that we actually did a video specifically on Lumberjack Landlord about tracking every one of your expenses for a month.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Because
Cheating, every one. Like pack of gum on the list.
yeah,
Discount store trip on the list. Every single one on the list. And when I got married, that was the way that I was used to living, was just extreme micromanagement, micromanagement to the nth degree, right? And
yes.
just every single dollar, knowing where every single one went and knowing why and knowing when and knowing where. And it was crazy. And
Mhm.
again, maniacal, but results prove themselves out, right? And
Yeah.
so when I got married to my lovely wife, that was something that she was not used to.
Right.
And she was not much of a budget hawk.
Mm.
And so now it was just understanding. I said, listen, we just need to know where it's going. And so we literally break it down. And I think that that's so critical. And I think that people really do themselves a disservice. There is, I'd say, not even 9 out of 10, I'd say 99 out of 100 people that I talk to, and we talk about numbers. And by the way, if we're hanging out, I'm not like, hey, so how much money do you spend a month?
Ah.
That's not no, it's not what we do. But when people are asking me like, oh, hey, I'd love to do what you do. Okay, great. This is the first thing you got to do is you got to sit down the next 30 days and every single dime you spend, track it.
Yeah.
Every dime.
Yeah.
And they are never right. They are never right on the number that they guess. They're almost
Exactly.
always half.
Oh, that is
They're
so
like, oh
powerful.
yeah, we spend about $1,800 a month. Okay, cool. I'll see you in 30 days. Holy shit, we spent $3,700 last month. Were there
Yeah.
any crazy, was it like a $3,000 expense you weren't expecting? No. Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
People don't understand and they don't really track it well enough because we've made it, and life's and society has made it so easy. It's a tap of the phone, it's a
Mm.
slip of the card.
Yeah.
It's easy. We're not seeing cash go out, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to become a cashless society,
Mhm.
which I think has a lot of detriment to it.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot in this I want to hit hard.
Sure.
First and foremost, I believe in this so much. I spent time creating a course called Get Your Money Right.
Yeah.
And it anchors on this concept of what do you think you spend, like your monthly nut, whatever you want to call it. Well, we're going
Mhm.
to track it. And oh, by the way, we're going to track it for 12 months. And we're going to
Nice.
set up your numbers, and the spreadsheet's going to change, right? If you think you spend 400 and you spend 450, it turns red, blah, right? You think you spend 400 and it turns 300, it turns green, right? So I believe in this so much. And again, people read one rental at a time. They see the journey. It's all good. There's thousands of people in the course, how to get started one rental at a time now. But people need to realize it's the Get the Money Right course that is probably most game changing because that sets the foundation, right? And
Yeah.
we'll get into
Even if
yeah, go ahead.
even if you only ever do that, Mike, right?
Oh,
Even if you
exactly.
only ever just get your money right and just understand what your incomes and your outflows are.
Yeah,
You
because
know, we always
you're always wrong. Like you said,
you
it's
are
just
always
always
wrong.
wrong.
You are always wrong. And God's honest truth, I'm wrong. That's why I still
Yeah,
track. I
exactly.
still track. I don't track down to the dollar anymore, but we track, generally speaking, you know, pretty much anything, you know, more than $50 type of thing,
For
or more
sure.
than $100 type of thing.
Yeah.
We still take a peek at it. We're like, geez, you know, we're probably eating out too much right now, and that sort of thing. And just like, you know, people that don't have a family budget are all largely doomed to fail. You
Yeah.
know, and if you're
oh,
and
yeah.
if you're 18, if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, listen, if you're away at college and you got that awesome, you know, credit card offer in the mail and they give you $500, $1,000, and then, oh my goodness, I paid my bill on time the first 4 months. They gave me $3,000 now. Like, guys, you don't have, I mean, we rent a lot to students and we ask them credit. We literally just say, hey, listen, send us a Credit Karma score, screen picture. And in the fives consistently.
Wow.
In the fives, fives, low sixes. I saw one yesterday that I had to ask them if they were dead. It was so low. I'm pretty sure I've heard of corpses that have higher credit scores.
My dog has a higher credit score.
Yeah, it was like 442 or something.
Oh, geez.
And I was like, do you have any account in good standing? Like even one?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and the thing is, it's not to shame them. It's there to, we're going to handle this with some levity and joke around about it. I'm obviously not naming the person.
Yeah, of course.
But let's get it right. Like, guys, let's get it right, because you can quickly even turn that 4 something into a 6 handle within 6 months if you just get on top of paying your stuff on time.
Yeah. And again, the reason I created this Get Your Money Right course is because so many people were getting it wrong. So many people in my opinion, jump to the excitement of real estate investing because it's the answer to their money prayers, right?
Sure.
But where in reality, if they don't get their money right at home first, even if you had a windfall and you bought your first rental, you won't be ready for that emergency. I got to promise you, $5,000 roof mount ACs break. Roofs eventually leak, right? If you don't have the emergency reserves or the habits, you're going to be in a pretty tough spot. But the other thing I want to talk about is those 3 numbers are the most important. And I believe 2 of them get a lot of press. And the third most important one is never talked about. So first and foremost, I want to talk about them top down.
Yes.
So social media, the flash and dash.
Oh, the flex. Yeah.
The flex is all about the top line number. And that is one of the most horseshit numbers out there.
Agreed.
It's freaking unbelievable. The amount of closing statements and this and that and checks and IC is nauseating.
Yeah.
It's not about the top line.
It really, I mean, how many businesses out there are so unbelievably capital intensive, right? So I work in healthcare, and a hospital is thrilled if they made 2%.
Exactly.
Think about the top line of a hospital. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions. And so they can live on the 2%. But hundreds of millions of dollars, you'd sit there and go, holy cow, look at that business. That's amazing. That's a business I want to be in. Not when you see that the return is 2%. Exactly.
Yeah.
You get annihilated. So yeah, it's the top line in the flex. Listen, if you've got a Lambo, that's awesome. I mean, frankly speaking, I want to get one too. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to do it, you know, based on my top line. I'm doing it based on my bottom line.
Exactly.
You know, because it's going to go in my midline. It's going to go in my expenses sheet.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh my God. Yeah. Freaking people. So again, the top line annoys me. It's very social media friendly. I promise you, all these closing statements you see, that's not the actual number. It doesn't have taxes. First off, closing statement doesn't have profit, taxes, capital gains, income, doesn't have income taxes, doesn't have your overhead, doesn't have your insurance, doesn't have your cost of capital, doesn't have, oh my God, the list is so long and it hurts my head.
Yeah.
And the real sad part is I would bet you 30% of those flexes are actually losses.
Oh, for sure. Like the Amazon drop shippers, right?
Yeah.
You drop shipped $1 million this month. It's unbelievable, right? What was your cost of goods?
Yeah. $1.1 million.
What? Yeah. Wait, did I say that right? Yep. It's just math. Like, Well, yeah, you see these numbers and they're just like absolute garbage. And it's like, it's not to say that you can't make money that way. Certainly there's guys doing it that are making money, except I bet there's a lot fewer guys making money than are actually flexing that they are making money.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That number's, I'm sure, much different. But it's the same thing with real estate, right? You look at that massive top line, you're like, man, that's awesome. Oh, wait, I should probably take out my mortgages.
Yes. Mortgages, operating expenses, insurance, property taxes. Gavin Newsom,
water bills, gas bills. Yeah.
Gavin Newsom really made it hard on landlords this year, but in the last 14 months, I've had to pay my property tax bill 3 times. He didn't give me a discount. Yeah. So, no.
Yeah. And in fact, I'm not sure what yours went up, but mine went up. I mean, on average, I think like 5 or 6. So we get 2. So 5 or 6%. I think 5 or 6% both times. Nice. I had one property that went up. I had a couple of properties that went up double digits in the same town.
Well, I got to flex a little bit. California's got you beat. We still have, they can always change it. This lovely thing called Prop 13.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Which means it's on purchase price, and I got a lot in 2010.
Yeah,
and it only goes up like 1.5% a year or something. So I'd be embarrassed to tell you my property tax bills on a couple of them.
Yeah, for all you Californians out there, whatever.
Yeah,
enjoy your income tax for those of you who pay it.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy it.
Don't forget the 48% income tax I pay.
Yeah, we got 0 here, so we got to make money somewhere. Right. Yeah.
You win.
No, still an appropriate flex, but yeah, like we saw it, and but the numbers, yeah, I mean and that's exactly right. I mean, you have all these expenses, and it's real nice and it's real flashy, and you see that top line, but it's the bottom line that matters. How much gets to the bottom? You don't live on the top line. No one can.
No one can.
No one can.
No. Well, maybe Amazon and Netflix can, but anyways, I digress.
Yeah, how nice for them.
That was a shot at being valued on revenue versus whatever. Okay, so that's the top line. You don't live on top line. Stop it. The people that are flexing are lying most of the time.
Mostly, yes.
Now let's talk about the next number. The next number is getting a lot of play, certainly a lot more play than when we were both growing up, right?
Sure.
And I give 100% credit, or at least 90% credit. There's probably others out there, but I think Dave Ramsey does a great job of talking about expenses, right? Getting debt-free and, understanding that. So that gets a lot of press as well, right? And the other thing is, the millionaire next door and, used cars and cutting out coffee. There's a lot of talk about the middle number, right? Expenses.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know a lot of Dave Ramsey people, I know a lot of them. They talk about it a lot, and, little poke at them. I mean, you don't have as much as me.
Yeah, that's exactly
right. And it's not because I'm so much more brilliant than you, but it is one thing is that we leverage debt.
Yeah.
And we don't leverage dumb debt, because there's plenty of dumb debt to be leveraged.
There's plenty. I mean,
there is plenty of dumb money in the market right now. And I'm not talking about people that are unsavvy investors. I'm talking about dumb money, like plenty of Wall Street and Silicon Valley dumb money. Right?
Oh, there is. There's
like rooster.com is going to cock-a-doodle-doo again, and that's the kind of stuff that you see.
Yeah.
And so, I think Dave has a great handle on a lot of that stuff. And quite frankly, not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur and a multi-homeowner. They might hate it, and that's fine. Then stay in your lane. And Dave Ramsey, following that advice, will probably make you really happy when you're not miserable because you're not doing anything.
Yeah. I give Dave Ramsey props. He,
100%.
there's the baby steps, I think he calls them, the snowball, all of that stuff. Hey man, if you can get to 0, right? There's too many people out there that have a negative net worth.
Agreed.
And most of that's bad debt. Actually, I'll say most of it's bad debt. And, if you get to 0, call it a win. I mean, at least you know where you are. And I think that, if that's your choice, go nuts. But, it's only part of the problem, right? He has some of the worst real estate investing advice I've ever seen, but that's another story.
Yeah, like if you're doing exactly what he did in 1985 or whenever when he lost his stuff, if you're doing exactly
90-day debt, oh my God.
Yeah, that was dumb debt then too. Like
don't do that.
I get it. Like listen, if he comes out with Dave Ramsey, How to Invest in Real Estate book, don't buy it.
Yeah, that's not don't follow that advice. That would be bad.
But really sound on the consumer financial side.
Yeah.
But when you're getting dangerous with like short-term debt, I mean, I personally I don't touch any short-term debt like that.
Me
Ever,
neither.
ever, ever. It scares the crap out of me.
Mm-mm.
I have no idea. I'm not smart enough to know. Ninth grade dropout. I'm not smart enough to know what the market's going to do in the next 90 days or 180 days. I can have feelings. I can see trends.
Yep.
But here's the thing. If that trend starts to reverse and starts to reverse quickly, it's like buying stock on margin.
Oh,
You
exactly.
cannot get out of it fast enough. And the problem is when you're trying to get out, you
Everybody
don't
else.
have a way out.
Yeah,
There's a lot of times no way out. And that's where I got caught. I mean, thankfully, when I got caught in 07, 08, when everything was tanking, and I had to do a deal at 10.25% with Countrywide. We see who won that battle. But a 10.25 deal with Countrywide, you know, that was because I had no one else would play with me.
Exactly.
Like I was done. Now, the nice thing is that quickly was able to be refinanced over the next few years down to 5 and change and then 3 and change.
Right.
That's great. And obviously the value's gone way up. But what if I'd been stuck at that 10.25? That'd have been a nasty number for a long time.
That would have been ugly.
Thankfully, it was only, a few years.
Yeah. So then let's talk about the bottom number that almost nobody talks about. So I'm trying to coin the word freedom dollars, because you're free to do whatever you want with them. Yep. Right. And I want this to be shocking. You could literally burn them, light them on fire for warmth, and your lifestyle doesn't change. That's what I mean by freedom dollars. You can do whatever the hell you want. I obviously recommend not doing that.
Right.
But the fact is you could, right? They're not spoken for.
Yeah.
And in the course I have, Get Your Money Right, I actually produced something that's never been done, and that's a financial health score. Yeah. And it basically takes this freedom dollars against your expenses and says, where are you at, right? It's on a score. You can be negative, but it's on a score basically 0 to 100. And there's criteria. And it's really awesome to see, because it changes and fluctuates every month or every quarter.
Yeah.
And it just forces you to think about that bottom line. We've got to talk more about disposable income. If you want to flex on me, tell me how much money you have left over at the end of the month, because that's where freedom comes from. The reason I can talk to my experts Monday through Friday while all of you are at work is because my bottom number is bigger than my expenses. That's all I got to tell you.
It's true. I mean, that it comes down to, that's where the phrase comes. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. That's the line that you're all looking at. That's the one that you all want to get to. That's the one that says, that's the one that dictates whether or not you have to go to work the next day.
Yeah, exactly. It's where you can go to work, you can get a package you don't like, and you can go, I'm done. See you later.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was really nice working with you the last 5 years.
I'm out.
See ya. Bye. Ciao, Francesco Rinaldi.
Yeah, that was a scary 10 seconds, but turned out to be a really good day. That was fun. But yeah, we've got to talk about the bottom line more.
Agreed.
It's not as sexy though, right? The top line number is so much bigger than the bottom line number. No, but the bottom line number is where freedom is.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is that that's where I want to see things change. So in kind of like the 50s and 60s, right? Because I would hear these stories from my grandparents, and it was like, oh yeah, do you see that divan? We bought that at this furniture store. And it was like, ooh. And then and it was this much money. Ooh. And now I want to see the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I want to see the exact opposite, which is like, yeah, you see that? Yep. I mean, honestly, Mike, Habitat for Humanity, like Goodwill, Salvation Army, like I'm the lumberjack landlord. I will go to any of these places and try and buy material for my properties. I absolutely will. They're putting it out there. It was donated to them. They're putting it out there because they want to sell it and they want to make money from it. And I am more than happy to give money to that cause 1000% of the time. And the cool thing is it's like, I'm proud when I can finish a house and say, yeah, we came in under budget. Because you know what we do a lot of times when we come in under budget is if we did it right, we did it effectively, we actually bonus our guys that worked on the job.
Right? Take care of the people that take care of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's like, if we can
bonus,
if we can bonus them on something like that, we're like, man, this project really turned out. You guys busted butt. You got it done faster than we expected. So yeah, there's a little bit of money left over. Let's bonus you guys and give you something bit extra.
Dude, you're a good man. I knew I liked you. Again, folks, there's 3 numbers in a family unit, family budget: top line, expenses, bottom line. We all have to stop flexing on the top. We need to appreciate the middle, but we live on the bottom. So,
yes.
Very cool. This has been a lot of fun, Matt. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
All right, you got it.